Being conducted in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertisement in the Cape May Star and Wave on the Township website and posted on the bulletin board of Township Hall.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Conrad?
Here.
Councilmember Perry?
Here.
Councilmember Simonson is absent. Deputy Mayor Clark?
Here.
Mayor Beck?
Here. Okay, we have the work session, and we are honored to have Dr. Joe and Ann Salvatore here, two people who really have done marvelous things for this town. I'm going to turn it over to the deputy, who is going to kind of present an idea that they have in reference to a dog park at the airport. So fire away.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, it's been said, blessed are they who dream good dreams and are willing to pay the price to make those dreams a reality. I don't know of any two people in this county that are better at dreaming good dreams and then paying the price to make them a reality than Joe and Annie Salvatore. And over a year ago, Joe, while we were at the airport, said, "You realize we have a dog park trail, a dog trail here at the airport." A lot of folks didn't know about that. I didn't know about it. And so he's been taking people along those trails to show them the opportunity. And he said, "You know, I've been around the country and I've seen different dog parks that have been established. And these are great amenities." And I got online and started searching. And sure enough, there are dog parks all over the state, all over the country. There's dog parks in Cape May. Sometimes folks charge for them, sometimes they're free. And when Joe brought this up, at the time, we really didn't advance it. But given the discussion we've had and given the new ordinance that's been passed, I thought it would be a good time to give Joe an opportunity to just talk about the vision that he had and how we might make this vision into a reality for Lower Township. And this is an idea that if council thinks it's a good idea, we would refer it to the Recreation Advisory Board for further consideration to advance it. So I'm going to, at this time, invite is it Annie coming up? So your better mouthpiece? Okay.
She lost the coin flip.
She lost the coin flip, the mayor said. Okay.
This is fine, just Joe can do it all.
Oh,
My name is Annie Salvatore. I live at 731 Seashore Road in Cold Spring.
Joe Salvatore, same address.
As Norris mentioned to you, my husband and I, about 2 years ago, I guess, we had just gotten our fourth German Shepherd, and we were on our way to Lancaster in our camper motorhome. Some folks said, you know, if you've seen the dog park, you really ought to take your dog over to this wonderful dog park near Franklin and Marshall College. We went over, and it was absolutely unbelievable. I've never really been in a dog park before. I've seen them around, but it was just gorgeous. And here are all these dogs walking up the pathway to go into the dog park. None of them are barking. It was amazing. All different dogs coming together and playing in this dog park. There were two parts. One was for the smaller dogs and one was for the larger ones. And it just was amazing. It was covered with a sort of like a composite material. All the owners have to clean up after their dogs when they take them into the park. All the dogs play together. It's like a playground. There's plenty of water there. They had sprinklers going all over this little park. They had games for the dogs. I mean, it was amazing. So we came back and we thought what a great idea it would be to have something like this in Lower Township. Right. Yeah, this was a Benefil or Purina dog food people. This was a contest a woman had gone into and had won. This dog park was state of the art. It was $500,000 probably if it were a penny, but it was it was a bit overdone. It didn't have to be quite as fantastic as that was. But we came back and thought what a great idea it would be to have a dog park here because of all these fabulous dog trails. And if you've never seen the dog trails, make sure you take advantage of them. They're amazing. And then along the way, have a dog park too that would be available. So we met with a gentleman from the Delaware River and Bay Authority first to see, and he was very interested. He was in for it. This is now 2 years ago, Director Scott Green. And then we mentioned it to Norris and to the mayor, and at the time it was sort of up in the air. So we'll show you the presentation that we had done for Scott Green over a year and a half ago, and see what's the possibility. There's a good chance it could be money received from open space for recreational facilities. We have not looked into that. That's something that you would all look into. Colleen maybe could write a grant or something. So,
Thank you, Annie.
you're welcome. Let me sit down.
It does fit the criteria for open space under recreation, so that I think it's a real possibility that monies could be obtained through the granting process for a park, something like this. On walking through the airport, there are 2 dog trails, each a 1/4 mile long, lovingly made, as Mr. Perry was there recently, by a man who lives in the villas. He dedicated these 2 trails to his mother, and it is done with love. Scott Green liked the idea very much. He says, Joe, you can do it. Do a survey. The RBA will not fund it. Get insurance, and you can do it. If in the future we ever want to build on that spot, we could move you to a different adjacent location. Well, nobody's built there in 70 years, so the chances of that being the case are not much. I have a picture of its location. May I come up closer?
Please.
We have our easel out here anywhere? I don't see it. I was looking for it.
Behind you. Easel.
Is it over there? Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, the
You want me to-
Pentagon building
Is it over there?
here.
Let me see if we can pull this out.
These 2 trails that this man from the villas made are absolutely spectacular. 1/4 mile each.
Not in their
I
contract.
think a great place would be adjacent to those, where the dogs could be in the run and then the handlers could walk them through this.
We'll put this up on the board so.
Anyway, at this location, there's a sewer, there's water, and there's electricity in the blue building adjacent to this property. So,
Yeah, we need a mic for
You can go back to the mic, Joe. We'll put that up on the easel. There we go.
anyway, there is water adjacent to this. There is sewer, and there is electricity, I'd say 100 yards away. So, and there is parking unlimited in this area. So with the DRBA's approval, and he was quite enthusiastic, I think it'd be a great site for a community, Lower Township, dog park, and trail. So we present this with no other agenda other than we love Lower Township, and I think Lower Township loves dogs, and we have no other agenda.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
So that's, we appreciate very much your vision and thoughtfulness and already thinking about how this could be made into a reality. This is something that I think we should refer for further research. There's a lot of questions that'll have to be answered, a lot of planning. Some of these parks charge, some are free. There's lots of different ways to approach it, and I think if you go online and see how many parks there are in the state and what they do and how they handle it, we can get a good framework for how we might want to proceed with this. So I've talked to Mitch and other folks on the Recreation Advisory Committee and encourage them to bring it up at the next time they get together to see how this could be advanced.
You know, I'm looking at it that it's positive. You know, we're not committing to anything, but I think that to take a look at it, there's just so much that's involved with these. You know, the rules, the cost, the insurance. You know, we could go through a litany. I was just writing down the maintenance, the enforcement of the rules. You know, and as you go online and you look at the various parks that are there, some have more rules than others do. You know, inoculations have to be up to date. Some places charge for a single dog. Some people charge less for a second dog. I'm just saying that if we task this, you know, perhaps with the rec advisory board or whatever council decides, then they can go over this and maybe present some kind of a plan as far as whether or not it seems decent enough. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I had the pleasure of being out there last week and walked through the trails and talked with Dr. Salvatore in regards to what his ideas were back there, and there is plenty of room. I think it's a great idea, fantastic idea, and it's definitely worth researching and hopefully come up with something, and funding, of course, to pay for it, but research has to be done, and hopefully we can come up with something good.
Tom?
Full agreement with what you said, Mayor.
Okay, can we just make a motion, we all agree then that we'll send it to the rec advisory board for them to take a look at it and go through the pros and cons and look at all the various factors involved.
So moved.
Okay? All right,
All in favor?
all in favor? Aye. Okay, we move down, consent agenda. Any comments or questions from council? Well, first of all, you know, I'm not trying to jump past you, Joe. We appreciate what you did here, and, you know, you and Ann, I know you put some real effort into this. I wasn't expecting what you brought in here as far as the work that you've done, and we just want to say on behalf of the township, thank you for coming up with this idea and attending the meeting tonight. I don't see it because your chart's in the way now.
He's smiling.
Out of sight, out of mind is what it boils down to. But can we hold on to your chart for now? You know?
This is the one that was done a year and a half ago. This is not done.
We'll take your idea and your chart. Go ahead, yeah, you can move that. Do you want me to come down and do that, or can we get a volunteer from the audience? Thank you. All right, we're back to the consent agenda. Does council have any questions, comments on the consent agenda? Okay, we'll open up the public comment on the consent agenda. Any questions, comments on the consent agenda? Close the public portion.
Approval of minutes, June 15th, 2015. Resolution number 2015-197 through 2015-215. And this is the first reading of ordinance number 2015-06, an ordinance amending Chapter 475, Park and Recreation Areas of the Code of the Township of Lower to add Article 4, Fee Schedule. Again, this is the first reading. The second reading and public hearing will be scheduled for July 20th, 2015.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2015-216. This is authorization for the 2015 Incentive Award for Insurance Waiver. 24 employees, $56,083.33.
Okay, does council have any comments on this? Okay, comments from, public comment on this? Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Abstain?
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Resolution number 2015-217. This is a voucher for Lower Township Rescue in the amount of $10,000. This is the first payment on the expense payments.
Okay, any council comments on this?
I'm just recusing myself totally from the discussion.
Okay. All right, is there any public comment on this resolution? All right, close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
I'm recused.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2015-05. This is the salary ordinance, the salary and benefit ordinance for the Township of Lower. This is the second reading and public hearing of this ordinance. This ordinance has been posted, published, and made available to the public.
Okay, is there any council comments on this ordinance? Open up the public comment on this ordinance. Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. Move down to administrative reports. Any comments on that? We'll move on to council comments. Tom?
I want to thank everyone that was involved with the fireworks on July 3rd, especially everyone that attended. Thank you for your behavior. But I want to thank a lot of the people in the background, the Recreation Department, Public Works, the police, fire, rescue. All these people helped make this as orderly and a great event as it has been every year. This weekend, I had the honor of attending a welcome home for Sergeant Joe Sipple. Came home from Kosovo, and just wanted to give him a shout out. Welcome back, longtime Villas family. Glad to see him home. Other than that, I hope everyone's enjoying their summer.
I'd also like to comment on the July 3rd fireworks. For me personally, it was the first fireworks since 1994 that I didn't have to work them. So I had the opportunity to walk around and see the different activities that were going on and take everything in. And there was a lot of people, not just up on the bayfront for maybe 6 or 8 blocks back in North Cape May, was loaded with people enjoying the fireworks and the activities. So to everyone involved, job well done.
Norris?
Well, I guess it's a trend. We're all sitting here very excited about how well the fireworks went off this year. The planning by the Recreation Department, I think the fireworks seemed better this year than even last year. I don't know if it's because I forget how good they were last year, but everything went off without a hitch. The weather was good, the events along the street, all the different fairs, and it was just fantastic, and people had smiles everywhere you went. And I just want to say I wish we could have had as much planning and thoughtfulness and research as we had on the 4th of July celebration. I wish we had had that much research and planning and thoughtfulness in going into our dog ordinance, because I think if we had done a little bit more planning and thoughtfulness about it and advanced planning, we would have come up with a little bit less confusion than what we had over this dog ordinance. So I think they set an example of how things should be done really well at the Recreation Department. Thanks.
Okay, we have a variety of announcements. Pool passes are now on sale at the Recreation Center. The summer concert series begins July 8th. That's this Wednesday, right? At the DRBA Ferry Terminal at 5:50. Is that correct? 5:50?
5:30, Mayor.
5:30.
All right, let me cross that 5 out. Okay, that's why I'm asking, because it seemed like a kind of a odd number. Okay, this July 8th is the Soul Cruisers. They're excellent. Then we have the 15th is the B Street Band. The 22nd is Separate Ways. The 29th, by demand of a certain secretary, we have the Morrison Brothers. And August 5th, we have Danny V's. Now, they're different. Like the B Street Band is Bruce Springsteen, right? And Separate Ways is Journey.
Correct.
I'm getting there. Morrison Brothers is country and western. And Danny V's is
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel. Okay. So they have become like incredibly the way it's grown over there. And, you know, the rec department, the DRBA, they've just done an awesome job with that. Okay, August 1st is the Coombs Douglas Run. That also, you can register at the rec department. That's August 1st. July 11th is Whale of a Day. That's this Saturday, right? And that's Clubhouse Road and Town Bank. That's always a good day, and it's kind of, they draw a nice crowd over there, and they have a zillion vendors over there too. That place is packed. Okay, so here's an important announcement that has come from, this has to do with the Garden State Parkway interchanges 9, 10, and 11. And they got important written all over this. It says, when did we get this email? Today? On July 14th, on or about, traffic will be switched from the diversionary road to the northbound main line and bridges, eliminating the traffic lights in the northbound direction of the Garden State Parkway at interchanges 9, 10, and 11. Traffic will be able to exit the parkway at interchanges 9 and 10, while the exit ramp is constructed at interchange 10. A detour will be in effect at interchange 9 for interchange 10 through approximately Labor Day. Advance warning VMS boards,
The light up boards.
okay, are planned to be set up on Tuesday, July 7th. There'll be a test on this. You know, did you get this, guys, the reporters? Because you probably need a copy of this, okay? Because they're the ones that are going to be putting this in the paper. So as soon as the meeting's over, we'll get you a copy of the email. Okay. I guess that's it. We'll open up for the call to the public. If anybody wishes to address council, come forward, state your name. I see a hand in the back on the left, had their hand up first here.
I'm gonna, Helen Thompson, 44 East Delaware Parkway, Villas. I'm gonna give you guys copies.
Okay. Hey, Jewel, could you make these copies? This over to the Jewel.
What do you say? Yes, no?
I think they're starting with copies here. I'll share it.
On July 14th, it's going to start.
Yes,
Uh,
your name and,
I did.
oh, you did it already? Okay, good.
Oops. Oh. Helen Thompson, 44 East Delaware Parkway, Villas. This is concerning Mutts Cove Dog Beach. And
Ms. Thompson, can I just
Go
say
ahead.
something? Isn't this the subject matter in which we received an email threatening litigation the other day? And if so, it's not really appropriate for public comment. I hate to,
I'm making public comment.
well,
There's no litigation on this,
On Mutts Beach per se,
on Mutts Cove, no.
Mutts Cove or whatever.
it
Solicitor,
seemed
some-
like threatened litigation from the email that I received that was forwarded to me.
There's no litigation on Mutts Cove. I am making a public comment.
Julie,
Don't mind.
do you have a copy of the email?
Threatening?
Yes. I'll review it again.
Yeah, we have to rely on your advice for this.
I'll review it again, but you can't have it both ways. You can't threaten litigation and then come in and want to speak publicly about
Okay,
it. because it
we've
puts
got,
If you
us in a
think
bad
you're going to
position.
stop me from making public comment on my presentation a couple of weeks ago, my last meeting, I'm not going to stop making public comment. There's no litigation on Mutts Cove.
Well,
There
so-
is litigation concerning the ordinance. I'm not speaking about the ordinance.
Either am I. I'm speaking about the email that you provided to Lower Township in the last week or so. I'm going to re-review it, but that email clearly threatened litigation over Mutts Cove. The email that I was referring to was an email dated June 15, 2015, that was brought to my attention in the last week or so. And it's clearly an email that threatens litigation.
Read the email, please.
I'm not going to read the email out loud, but well, I will. Quotes, "If the Rec Advisory Board has anything to do with a dog park, such as the airport or anywhere else for that matter, I am filing suit." And then it goes on to talk.
Could you read the whole email, please?
No,
Why not?
because I think it's pending litigation, threatened litigation.
It's not
and we've
pending
gone-
litigation.
My opinion to council is that this email is clearly an email that threatens litigation.
I'm objecting over not being able to talk about Mutts Cove. There is no litigation on that case, on that beach at all whatsoever, not anything whatsoever. I object to not being able to say public comment. I'm a resident of this township. I'm a taxpayer of this township. I have every right to take 5 minutes and speak about what I was going to speak. For you to stop me and try to quiet me, or whatever you're doing right now, there is no litigation whatsoever on Mutts Cove. None.
Miss Thompson, I'm not trying to stop you from doing anything, but basically, the public policy in the state is that if a subject matter involves pending litigation,
There is no pending litigation.
that's your opinion. My opinion is when you send out a incendiary email that threatens litigation, that's a threat of litigation. That's the very essence of litigation. And that is the spirit of the email that you sent out. You're covering the same subject matters today that you've covered in your email.
Please, no. How do you know what I'm covering today?
Well, you just said you wanted to talk about Mutts Cove.
Mutts Cove.
Excuse me, you can't interject in the middle of this.
So
discussion.
this
I'm
is
sorry.
just a way to
That's-
silence
you
Mutts
were-
Cove, is that correct?
I'll
I mean,
tell
how
you
long
what.
is this going to
Hold
go on?
Hold on. Ms. Thompson, if you were representing to council that this email was misconstrued and there's no,
Read it, please.
I read it.
Can you please read it out loud on the
No.
record?
No, I don't want to get
Is
into
there any
the debate.
intention on your part?
I think.
No, there is not, Mike.
I think what I was going to say, if she's representing that there's no litigation relative to Mutts Cove, I accept that representation.
There's no litigation, Mr. Stefankowitz.
Well, there's threatened pending litigation, potentially, but if you're saying there isn't,
There isn't.
There's no, okay, you know,
So I'd like to read what I
listen,
brought.
listen, Hal,
That'd be okay.
I think what the fear is, that we're going to sit here and talk about the issue, and we're going to make statements that you're going to turn around and maybe file some kind of a litigation. And the truth is that if it's your intent at this point to file litigation, then you have to tell, and we'll just say, well, we'll talk about it in court. But if you're saying to us now that you're not going to file litigation in reference to this, then we can discuss it.
I'm not going to file litigation. I did file litigation on the
Are
ordinance.
you all right with that?
I fully accept her representation that she is not going to file representation. She's not going to file litigation.
Okay, and then my
If
suggestion is let her go, and if it's something
we're
that,
crossing over to
right, we don't
some
respond if there's
forbidden
something there.
topic, I'll jump right in.
Yes, fair enough. Go ahead, please.
Okay, what this is, it's a newspaper article from Jacksonville.com News. I cut it short because it was kind of long. And what the article is concerning is dog beaches.
Right.
And these people, they had a petition going for an off-leash dog beach in Jacksonville Beach. And that was, the article is from June 11th, 2014. And so I just cut out what was pertinent to Mutts Cove, in my opinion, of this article. It's a proposal to designate an oceanfront stretch of sand at Jacksonville Beach as a dog beach, where human accompanied canines could play off leash. Draws mixed reviews at City Hall. Mayor Charlie Latham said he gets enough complaints about dogs running free in the community as it is. He said he sees no change in the current beach access laws, which only allow dogs on the beach in the early morning and evening hours and requires they be leashed. Currently, Jacksonville Beach and Neptune Beach allow leashed dogs on the beach before 9 a.m. and after 5 p.m. Atlantic beach allows dogs on the beach during the day and evening, but also requires they be leashed. Also, there are several dog parks in the beaches areas. Except for their timing, all 3 beaches have the same basic law. Latham said, dogs are allowed, but they must be on a leash. The law has worked well for our city, and I don't anticipate any changes in the near future. We are taking complaints regularly from people who have incidents involving dogs on a leash, he said. But 2 of the council members said they wanted more information about the dog beach concept. Councilman Tom Taylor said he had safety concerns, particularly about pit bulls and other big dogs. A lot of children on the beach are scared of animals, and a lot of our senior citizens walk their dogs and would not want to see a dog off its leash hurt a child or a senior citizen who is walking, he said, but I am open to discussion. Councilman Philip M. Vogelsang said he asked Dealing for more information about the dog beaches she had visited. I think it's worth discussing, he said. If such a beach exists, I'd like to see how it operates. It seems like the idea is to make a portion of the beach a dog park, and I've never seen or heard of that being done. The reason I read that part of the article is because it reminds me sort of council here when I presented Mutts Cove. And the rest of this article, it says, actually, many communities across the country and in Florida have done just that, including Lee and Pinellas counties. About 24 acres are designated as Lee County's Bonita Dog Beach. I presented that in my presentation, Bonita Beach. Bonita Beach Dog Park, also known as Dog Beach, with about 10 acres of usable land, said Dana Kassler, Deputy Director of the county's Park and Recreation Department. It is super popular, he said. It has been received very well. The area is open during daylight hours, admission is free, and a volunteer group, Friends of Dog Beach, helps with the maintenance and monitoring. Dogs must be licensed and the people chaperoning them at least age 15. Those handlers are required to control and clean up after their dogs and prevent them from harassing wildlife or shorebirds. Not allowed are children under 5 years old or under 5, aggressive or sick dogs, or more than 2 dogs per handler. Established as a community-driven project in 2001, the Dog Beach has been almost problem-free, said Kassler. It has gone really well. It has really gone well. I don't know of any major incidents, he said. For 13 years, that record is pretty amazing. Just say, that's 13 years, no major incidents. That's with Bonita Beach. In Pinelands County, Fort DeSoto, another one I presented, in Tierra Verde, allows dogs on the beach in a designated area called Paws Playground. The dog beach rules are similar to those in Lee County, although handlers must be at least 16 years and can bring up to 3 dogs. The dog park was established in 2004 because of demand from dog owners and complaints about dogs on the beach from birders, said Park Superintendent Jim Wilson. The county consulted all sides on the site. An underused area of the beach that had never been shorebird nesting, he said. That helps. We got buy-in from the people who would have been the naysayers, he said. We have 7 miles of beach. We took least used section and turned it into the most used section. I'm just saying. I thought it was just really quick. I just wanted to thank Mr. Salvatore and his wife for making the presentation on the airport dog park. I support it if it's in addition to Mutts Cove. There's still no swimming over there, and we have a lot of large breeds here that like to swim. And Mutts Cove, it's free. I mean, it's got clean water in and out constantly. Dog owners, I have a lot of support for this. I just want you guys to know this. I have 800 followers on my page in a month. I've been out there talking to people. There's a lot of upset people out there, and I'm like, they feel like they've been given the shaft. I don't know if you need a petition. Do you need a petition to show you that I have support? I mean, for this, there is support. I mean, I'm not making it up. And these 2 places right here, that's why I read it, so you guys would know. They work, and they work well. And I'm asking if you would reconsider on Mutts Cove. And, do the airport dog park. I wish there should be 5 dog parks here. I'm a big dog fan, I am. But I personally feel that Mutts Cove should be in there also. It's hardly used. And it wouldn't be, Mayor, I just wanted to say something to you. It wouldn't be like you'd be giving up half a mile to dogs. I mean, we're dog owners, and there's lots of us. We're a voting block, and, we're people. I mean, the fishermen have a place, surfers have a place, everybody has a place, except dog owners don't have a place. I mean, we're restricted now on the bay. They're very unhappy, and may not be perfect, but they would always have a place to be able to take their dogs. There's a lot of dog lovers here, and I'm just asking council that you reconsider. And that's what I had to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody else who wishes to address council? This gentleman here had his hand up.
I don't want to talk about Mutts Cove. Jim Waldy, San Fernando Road. I just wanted to go on record as saying I think things could have been handled a little better for the triathlon. I know it was a big event, but my wife and I returned from a trip late on Friday the 12th, and then Sunday morning the 14th, we're told we couldn't leave our neighborhood, and nobody had an idea of when or how. They just said, no, you can't leave. And we knew nothing about it. I would just recommend to the council that maybe in the future, that'd be a good reason to use the reverse 911 system. So at least when we got home, we would have had a message telling us what was going on, or even perhaps changing the route so that instead of doing a big continuous circle in one neighborhood, it moves, and then like maybe after 15 or 20 minutes, we could have gotten out without a problem. I just want to go on record as saying that. Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody else wish to address council? This gentleman here.
John Skorowski, 607 Arctic Avenue. I just want to know what's the latest that's been done for the mold problem over at the Public Service Building for the police. Anything happening on that? Is there still a mold problem there?
No, the latest is the test that we received back now, it's been approximately 6 to 8 weeks ago, gave it an all clear after we remediated 2 areas on 2 separate weekends there. So I'd also like to tell you that the roof was repaired again approximately a month ago. And so to answer both questions, that's what's happened in the current facility.
Okay, thank you. How about the county wanting to take over? They made a presentation on taking over the public safety building. Where do we stand on that issue?
I would think that within the month, inside of the next month, there will be a memo of understanding that both attorneys, the attorneys for the county and our attorney here, have to go over an agreement that the county's bringing forward to us. I plan to bring that in front of council. I could see that being done in the next 2 council meetings, spelling out what they would like to do and asking us if we would like to form a partnership with them.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
My name's Betty Summers from West Atlantic Avenue. I just wanted to say to Mr. Conrad, thank you, Tommy. Remember last meeting I asked you about our street? Well, you took care of it in a couple of days. Thank you. Job well done.
It was actually the employees.
Anybody else wish to address council? That gentleman back here.
Mike Jefferson, 103 Brookdale. I'd like to thank the Salvadors for their efforts over here in the dog park. I got one question. Where's the beach? No beach there in that picture. I think the beach dog park would be wonderful. I wanted to thank you for the fireworks. Great time. Walked the beach Saturday morning. A lot of humans forgot to pick up their trash. You may want to ban humans from that beach. So Which brings me to your ordinance about the dogs. The good people and responsible dog owners are suffering for the few. You know, I don't think you need the law. What you need is the enforcement of cleaning up and littering. So that's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to address council? This lady here.
My name is Linda Waldy, and I live on San Fernando Road. And going back to the triathlon event, I thought in the back of my mind, what would have happened if there was a citizen that had a heart attack or something like that, and an ambulance had to get through, because it really was a state of confusion. I mean, eventually, after about 45 minutes, there was, I don't know, what was it? I don't know if it was a fire police or someone led a group of cars through the neighborhood. We were delayed by over an hour to go to a family wedding. But what if someone had a heart attack? I mean,
That's
it's
a-
like,
that's a
I
different
really
story.
think that was very poor planning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, no, a heart attack certainly would be a priority, and we would stop whatever we're doing to handle that. But, I mean, as far as the inconvenience and the situation that took place, well, we take note of that, and we'll adjust that accordingly for next year.
Okay.
I believe the manager has something to say, or do you want me to address it?
You can, because you know that he rescued.
What should have happened? Well, for the emergency, yeah, they would have got through. But from what I understood, you should not have been told you couldn't leave your house. I'm just saying, we will be speaking to the promoter for that, because what it was supposed to be is, as people were going through, you go through gaps. They weren't supposed to close your road.
Okay.
But we will get that addressed. So if next year it goes, if you'll notice, every year they change the path.
Okay, and not only were we told that we could not leave, we were told that there was no idea when this event would be over.
And that should have been, that was totally incorrect also. We
Okay.
had a rough timeline beforehand
Okay.
when and we have to get that information out to all the homeowners. We will talk to the promoter. That was one of his responsibilities for
Okay.
taking care of that.
Okay.
I'm sorry you went through that.
Thank you. I just hope it never happens again.
Exactly.
Okay.
Anybody else wish to address council? Close the public portion. Motion to adjourn.
Why not? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.